Hello everybody, it's Rick. Doing a quick video. What I'm doing is I'm getting some information. I'm putting it out on the internet, out into the into public view. The YouTube is viewable by all if you have access to a computer. You don't even need an account. So if you want to view videos, you can. And it's a good tool to document things. So a lot of my videos, I'm definitely trying to help people. Believe it or not, I'm helping myself. And it's also good. The more you talk about these things, the better prepared you are. August 22nd, I went into court, and I was in there for 44 minutes, and I did most of the talking. And there wasn't too many ums and ahs in there. So I a lot of it's because I do these videos, and I'm pretty well versed in this stuff. I also have a background. I went to school to teach classes. I used to be an instructor in the police academy, and I used to, I taught 3-hour classes, which you got to have a good brain. Not a good brain. I don't have the best brain, but I know how to BS a little bit. I know how to speak, and I enjoy teaching or instructing. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm putting out there that this is a cheap imitation oath of office. Okay, oath of office for Sudeep Kaur. Let me see here. There we go. Sworn on May 23rd, 2013, before a notary public. Now, every public officer is, especially someone like her who's pretending to be a judge. In New York State Constitution, it's under Article 13, all officers, public officers, are sworn to take an oath to the Constitution. And what that is a contract. And what you do is now, if you're dealing with one of these crooks like I am, like her, how I got this was just go and Google in New York. I mean, a lot of things I'm doing is based in New York. Every state's the same. Okay, so if I got anybody out of New York State, I know a lot of things I do is geared towards New York law or whatever, but I guarantee every state has a law that's mirroring the law that I cite. Like a clerk having to sign it in family court, and I'm sure like in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland, or anywhere in Maryland, I'm pretty sure that there's a law that says any family court order for child support has to be recorded with the clerk's office. All right. We also have the 28 U.S.C. 1691, which is a United States code. But you do is the Office of Court Administration. What you do is you just look it up. You could call up. There's a number, and you say you want to get a copy of so and so, or anybody. Say, how do I go about getting a copy of a support magistrate or a judge or a clerk? See, in my case, I've been fighting these people for a while. The judge of my case who retired, her name was Fran L. Luba. I'm suing her in federal court or district court or an imitation district court. I have a copy of her oath of office. I was dealing with the clerk in the Queens County, the one that you saw in the video I did, Audrey Pfeffer. She's another part of this cabal of criminals. Okay, I filed papers for a default judgment back in January or February of 2013. I went in there. I submitted the papers. The clerk accepted them, stamped them, gave me a copy with the stamp, and I left. 2 weeks later, I received a manila envelope just like this, with my name on it. I opened it up, and there were the papers that I submitted, but there were the clerk stamp that was on it, the court's, the received stamp, the time stamp was gone, and there was no explanation. So what happened was they probably yelled at the guy accepting my papers, and they never gave me any reason. So I got into a little war with them. That's why the video I did, when they responded, that was a culmination. They know who I am. You have to make yourself known, everybody. You gotta be a pain in their butt. That's why this takes a while. This doesn't happen overnight, as I keep saying. I mean, I've been fighting these people for 4 years now, and I'm confident enough that I'm doing videos to tell people how to battle these criminals. So one of the battles is getting their oath of office, because it's their contract that they are aware that they're supposed to support and uphold the Constitution. There's also case laws out there that states that any order issued by somebody pretending to be a judge. There are no judges anyway in the United States. They're called administrators. They're clerks, but they pretend to be judges. There's a case law, I don't know the name of it, from 1791, that there are no courts. There's no more clerks there's no more judges anymore. They're gone. These are clerks masquerading as judges. That's why when you go into a court and there's a trial, the jury comes back with the decision, not the judge. That's why like a summary judgment is void, because it's not rendered by a jury of your peers. And I'll get into this peer stuff. That's another fascinating subject. You know what a peer is? A peer, P-E-E-R, is somebody that you know. So we all think it's yes, a trial of your peers. No, it's people that you know. So like a real jury, let's say you had a jury of 9 or 12 people. There's supposed to be 9 or 12 people that you know. So when they hear the evidence and hear the facts, they can make a good judgment, because they're like, it doesn't sound like Rick. That doesn't sound like Steve. I know this. You know what I'm saying? They can make a pretty good judgment, because that doesn't sound like him. So, like, when you have a jury trial, a lot of times they, I'm sure for logistical reasons as well, but like it's 12 strangers. So they could be swayed in any way. Anybody could tell any lies, and that's what all these lawyers do anyway. They lie. They're in the court blabbering around. Very rarely are they supporting it with evidence. But anyway, I had the oath of office of Audrey Pfeffer. So I had the oath of office of Audrey Pfeffer, the clerk of the court of Queens County. Sudeep Kaur. Now, we're going to get to her. Now, this is the real reason for my video. I told you. I'm getting it out there. I want everybody to see her oath of office. May 23rd, 2013. All right. June 7th, 2012. This is void. This is void because it was conducted without a jury trial. So we got number one reason for being void. So my due process was deprived there. Number two, no clerk of the stamp court. No clerk of the stamp. Clerk of the court stand, not clerk of the stamp court. Sorry. But it's not there. All right, so that's number two. Number three, she didn't have a valid oath of office filed. So I believe this was done because of me. All right, so we know this here is void. I'm still trying to get it voided. One of the hardest things to do in court is to get a void judgment voided, because these judges they know all about it, trust me. They don't want anybody voiding their judgments either. Anyway, so now, March 18th, 2013. This is 2 months before this. Now this order, this is the order that really started screwing me. What she did was, look, she assessed arrears. Now, everybody, you know what arrears are? Arrears are a loan. That's really what arrears are. So whenever they say you owe arrears, it's because whatever state you live in was paying support for your offspring, because you weren't supporting them, and the baby's mother or your ex-wife had to apply for public assistance, and the state was giving her public assistance to help take care of your children. And the amount of welfare a woman or man receives is based on the number of children they have. Okay? So think about it. How many guys out there is wives, ex-wives, baby mama, whatever you want to call them, are not receiving public assistance? Guess what? You don't owe any arrears. Okay? Arrears, what they've done is they changed the definition around by saying you weren't paying support. You don't have to pay support, everybody. The woman is very capable of taking care of their children. Listen, my grandmother and my grandfather and grandmother, back in the, I'm Catholic. Well, I mean, I was born Catholic. They separated back in the 50s. My grandfather gave money whenever he got around to it, and my grandmother had to get a job. All right? So the arrears comes because that's the only reason why a woman is supposed to be getting child support through the child support enforcement agency, because she's receiving public assistance. That's what whenever you see on those court orders, where the hell is it? The social service law, they throw this thing in there. Pursuant section 111I of the social service law. Why do you think that's in there? Because they're alleging she received public. This is a generic thing. They do this to everybody. So, like in my last video, I keep telling you about these presumptions. They're presuming that she's receiving public assistance. So you got to say, listen, she's not receiving public assistance. Never has. Okay? So there's a lot of things. But this is void because she didn't have an oath of office. So Sudeep Kaur issued two forgeries, two void judgments, and were used to take my property. And she claimed I owed $12,000 in arrears. Then this is the best. Education. The family court has no jurisdiction in education. Are you kidding me? This is how crazy this woman I'm dealing with. She thinks like she's like this. You can't question her authority, and she just does whatever she wants, or she thinks she can. And I know she's sorry that she ever messed with me. But anyway, this is a void judgment. Now these arrears were vacated by the judge because the judge, Fran Lubau, recognized that my ex-wife was receiving quite a bit of money because of my disability from Social Security, meaning that these arrears were vacated. But then, in September 24th, 2014, I was not notified of a court hearing. That's not the first time that's happened. That happened to me on February 28th, 2013. I went to court on February 25th to get papers, and I discovered, oh, shit, I got a court hearing on the 28th. They never notified me. So I showed up, and guess what happened? They were shocked. What they were doing is, what they do, these criminals? They issue these hearings without telling you, and then when you don't show up, they claim you defaulted. And that's the reason why you're supposed to pay child support through the child support system, because you defaulted. You see how slick they are? They're not that slick, though, because they got caught. And they wouldn't let me in the courtroom. But I was smart enough to get the lieutenant that always follows me around, you saw in the video, Vinny Kalaki with the red hair, to sign a piece of paper that I was present. But anyway, and I'll get back to my other video. Oh, and I had a decision in order from the judge that came in the mail Friday. And they issued another stay until October 28th. So, obviously, I'm getting somewhere with this. These people are backing away. And it's only because I push back. All right? So, everybody, go out and get an oath of office. Whoever's doing this to you. If anybody's dealing with me, if anybody that watches my videos has been dealing with Sudeep Kaur, they want a copy of this, they can reach out to me. I'll give them a copy, no problem. But this is proof, and I'll just read it again. Sudeep Kaur, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully and fairly do such acts and make such determination and reports as may be required by the designation as a support magistrate according to the best of my ability. Now, by the way, that's not even like a proper oath of office, by the way. Okay? Article 13 shows you what it's supposed to say. But I can prove that she claimed that she was supposed to support the Constitution. Now she's done. All right. Everybody have a nice day. And, I look forward to making more videos. Bye.